Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock. He hits it!
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Oregon's a Fiesta Bowl champion in a 12-win season.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
Our last show of the week, because we've got Oregon baseball opening day tomorrow. Mark Wazakowski's team is in action. The Ducks are on the road. They left early this morning for Arlington, Texas, playing at the Texas Rangers ballpark. Ryan Milano's got the call for you. 12:45 pregame show for the Ducks against Oklahoma to start that tournament. A 9 a.m. start time on Saturday before the Ducks will conclude their trip to Texas with a 12:30 first pitch against Texas Tech. Some good competition for the Ducks against some, well, teams that are more familiar with the Texas region in Oklahoma, Baylor, and Texas Tech. I'm really looking forward to it, though, but that's why we won't have a Duck Insider tomorrow. So a full jam-packed weekend preview show for you here on a Thursday. No basketball game tonight. The Ducks with the one game, the rivalry game, 7 o'clock on Saturday, televised on Pac-12 Network, 6:30 pregame show right here on the Oregon Sports Network. We've got that for you with Coach Altman, some preview thoughts from him. He talked to the media this morning. Also, Jess Drummond, Oregon Lacrosse head coach. She's 1-0, a 1,000% winning percentage. 1,000 in her career. When you go 1-0, congratulations to Jess Drummond. We're going to talk with her coming up, previewing the season second match for Oregon Lacrosse. Second matchup coming up Friday evening. And then also a number of baseball student athletes, and we'll talk with Coach Graves as the Stomp Out Cancer game is coming your way this Friday, 7 o'clock for Oregon women's basketball, and a number of other things going on around Oregon athletics. Now, I do, though, want to start today with something that for anyone that's my age, for anyone that's in our intern era, you know, this is an exciting day. It's been since NCAA football 2014, NCAA 14, that we got a college football video game. And EA Sports is back in the business. I think I speak for everyone of my generation, and also probably pretty much every student athlete who's really looking forward to this. We got a teaser trailer today for EA Sports College Football 25, and I just want to let everybody know there's been a lot of information. I've been following it, and I got to tell you, if you told 18-year-old me who was sitting in a college dorm playing NCAA football with all of his friends that someday he'd be sending audio recordings to EA Sports of the Harley coming out onto the field and shout, the Oregon cheerleaders leading shout, coming home. If you told me that I was going to send recordings of that, I'd be like, man, what a good career it's been. And you know what? I did all of that. Yeah, we sent all of that stuff. Shout out to Zach Taylor, the Oregon marketing team. There's been a lot of moving parts. Equipment, of course, a big deal. Yeah, it was fun for me to see it and realize that all of my college friends in our group text sent it to me very excited. And I was like, yeah, it's a thing. Yeah. I hope that it goes well and that student athletes are thrilled with what it looks like. That's my hope. All right, men's basketball on the road in Corvallis. Dana Altman with the media this morning. Some good news, some bad news, and I think a team that's trying to stay focused on the game ahead. There's a lot of outside noise. The Ducks probably on the outside looking in if the tournament started today based on the resume, but the rotation has been in flux. Sounds like Nate Biddle, the Ducks might be without him moving forward. He's been ill, and, well, Coach Altman will update you on a whole lot of things. Brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. Coach Altman with the media this morning.
How's practice been, Dana? I would say more mentally than physically than just the numbers?
You know, we went Monday and Tuesday, and the guys really worked hard. Took yesterday off, but a lot of guys came in. So, you know, they're down. They react just like our fans. You know, it's tough. You know, you got to win at home, and we didn't. And so, but they're resilient. They'll bounce back, and we just got to get better.
The goal in the short term have to be focused now more about the top 4 finish to get the bye, to set yourself up accordingly, and then worry about what the implications are later, but making that.
No, you know, we just got to worry about Oregon State. I mean, I understand all that long term and everything, but we just got to go focus on Saturday, try to find a way to win that one, and then go to Stanford and try to win that one, you know, and I think that's what this team needs. We got to focus in on the 8 guys we got, and Gabe and Coop, getting them ready. We got to get Brennan and Carrio playing better off the bench, you know, to give us a little bit more, and we know those 2 can really help us, but they've struggled here a little bit lately, and we've got to get those 2 going. So just to give us, you know, a good rotation.
How do you get Jackson back on track offensively?
Well, he's got to take a little better shots. I think he's trying too hard to get, you know, his offense going. You know, I think just taking a step back and saying, okay, I got to make sure these first few shots are good shots. You know, I think guys put pressure on themselves. You know, got to score. It's my turn to get a shot up here, rather than letting the game come to them. And that's when they get in stretches like that. And so, you know, just got to slow him down a step. And we know he can shoot it. You know, he practice shooting drills, our practice activities, shoots the crap out of it. So just got to get him to take a step back and slow down a little bit. Usually offensively, when guys struggle a little bit, I think usually they're trying too hard. You know, everybody tell them they got to score, and, you know, they want to score. And I think they just try a little too hard.
Do you like how he's playing in his other areas, in the other areas of his game, you know, while he's kind of working through this shooting slump?
Well, I like the fact he didn't turn the ball over, and he's trying to make the right play. You know, defensively, he's making, like a lot of our guys, too many mistakes. But no, I like he's competing. You know, he's got a great attitude. He's easy to coach. Wants to be a good teammate. So yeah, no, he's doing a lot of good things.
With Brennan and Carrio, what in particular are you wanting to see from those guys that they aren't doing at the moment?
Well, defensively, both of them really need to take a big step. You know, they're all worried about their offense, which, you know, we need them to play better offensively, to hit some shots and, you know, get to the rim, get fouled. They're 2 of our best athletes. You know, they're not getting to the free throw line at all, you know. So get to the rim occasionally offensively, but defensively use that athleticism. And, you know, when they do, they've really shown some good signs defensively. But I don't think they're quite using their athleticism like they should on the defensive end, and I think they both can be really good defenders.
Are you wanting to play Dante 30, 35?
No. I mean, 35 definitely not. You know, I think he can maybe handle 30 at the most, but you know, and the guy, you watch his effort and everything. I mean, he's laying it all out there, but. You know, I think he gets worn down when we play in that, and, you know, he's only been playing 4 weeks, 3 weeks. You know, it's not like, and he's coming off a 9-10 week not doing anything because of a knee injury. You know, he's only been playing a month, so he's worked himself into great shape to play those kind of minutes. But when you're playing Thursday, Saturday especially, I think it's really hard on him.
Looking for then from Kwame and Mo to be able to give him some breathers?
Well, I've got to do a better job. You know, it's without Nathan, it's got to be Mo, you know, getting up to 10 minutes a game. We need KJ producing more at the 4, you know, and because messes up our rotation at the 4. And then if I move Bam to the 4, then we don't get the minutes at the wings. So again, I haven't done a good job delegating those minutes and getting those guys to focus in on those minutes. But we've got to do a better job here because, like I said, the common denominator in the last 4 games is we haven't finished. Since we lost Keyshawn, we have not finished the games, win or lose. We won 2 of them. We didn't finish them. We lost 2 of them. We didn't finish them. So I got to get those minutes right so that we can finish a ball game.
So you say the other day that you're not sure if Nate's going to be able to do it and come back this season. Is that determined at this point?
He's got tests coming up. He won't play this weekend, but he's not feeling well, and he hadn't even been able to come to practice or go to class. He's been laid up. So, but he does have some tests coming up. Just making sure he's going to be feeling okay. So, but it doesn't, with a month left and he's lost weight and he didn't have any to lose, So I wish I could lose 10 and give it to him. He could find it, but he's lost weight and, he's really weak right now. So it'd be just even a couple weeks before he could come back then.
I realize there's limits as to what you can say and divulge by way of what's going on. I understand that. With uncertainty, fans they want him to play, they want to see him succeed, and they hate hearing that he's sick and whatever. But when there's ambiguity, they start creating their own scenarios as to what's happening. What can you divulge? What can you say as to what is going on?
Well, they can create any things they want. The young man doesn't feel well, and so, that's all I can tell you. We are putting him through tests to find out, why. But, fans can say whatever they want. The young man not feeling well, and that's the end of the story.
Is there any thought yet of, if he can't come back, of redshirting and what this becomes?
Oh, those things will be decided later. But he only played 5 games, and Mookie only played 5. 5 seems to be our standard. Jesse only played 5. So 5-game seasons. So you look at where we started. Somebody called me and said, the Georgia games seems like so long ago. He goes, you started Jesse, Keyshawn, Nate, 3 guys that aren't even playing. Dante started and then didn't play another game for a while. Jermaine's the only guy that has stuck it out of our first game starters, and Jackson wasn't available back then. So a Georgia game, indication of what's happened here, just not having guys available.
It's been 3 years of that, Dan. I understand everybody's frustrated. Everybody's frustrated. I'm sure no more than you guys and the players. That you're the ones who are in it. And I appreciate the gallows humor, because how else can you get through the day? After 3 years of dealing with some issue or another, where the numbers dwindle and you're in this spot, and it's February, March, and we're talking about bubbles and that. Where do you look for answers? Where do you draw for your own personal mental space to stay?
Well, I think, in moving forward, we can't change the past. We've got to look at every aspect of what we do. Or are we putting too many demands in the off season on our players? Are we not putting enough demands? We got to look at our weightlifting program. We've the injuries that we've had, are not muscular. Or, Dante had knee trouble when he got here. Do we look at our recruiting? Keyshawn, plantar fasciitis last year and ankle this year. That was just freak accident on both of them. We never had a plantar fasciitis. I've never had a dislocated ankle. Okay, so, in 44 years. So those are just, last year, Jermaine had a knee injury, that just partially torn patella tendon. You know, I mean, those are things that just happen. Will have bad hip, you know, that was just killing him. So, I mean, I don't know, James. I wish I could answer that question if I could, you know, but we've had a lot of games missed again. And, you know, Mookie wasn't even here when he hurt his ankle. You know, I mean, so, I mean, that was, so that's not our fault. So, you know, I don't know. We've got to really look closely at what we're doing. We've got to build some guys up physically. But, you know, I know the guys want to play. They come here to play the games. You know, they don't mind missing practice, I don't think, but they want to play the games. And that's why, like, Nate practiced, and then he couldn't play. So I knew, like, he was trying to play. But, like I said, I saw him those days, you know, and face all drawn in. He couldn't play. I mean, he was sick. Whatever the sickness is, he wasn't able to play. And so hopefully we'll find some answers there for Nathan and move on there. But, you know, like I said, right now I just got to worry about the 8 scholarship players and get Gabe and Coop ready in case we need some minutes from them. And hope like heck we can stay healthy with this group and finish strong. And it starts with Oregon State Saturday night.
What have you seen just from this team and for OSU and Pope's development, Bilodeau's development? It seems like they've taken a step from last year.
Well, they're two different teams. The team at home is 11-4 and playing really good. You know, they've struggled on the road. I don't know if they've won a neutral or a road game, but they're a different team at home. You know, anybody that can beat Arizona, you know, with the talent they have, shows you what they're capable of. And, you know, their losses have been right there. So we know Saturday night, you know, we're in for a fight. And because they've played, they're 11-4 at home. You know, they've done a great job. So we're really going to have to play well Saturday night. You know, they've got good young players. Wayne does a great job. Like I said, and that's young teams struggle on the road. That's college basketball. And so, again, I know we're going to be in for a fight Saturday. Last couple years over there, I mean, you know, I think every game's gone down to the last bucket. And so we know we'll have our hands full.
I know you said previously you and Wayne have talked about playing this game moving forward. Is there any finality of that?
No. We're going to play. You know, we're still working on schedules, you know, future schedules, and trying to work with the Big Ten on, you know, they've got that week in December where we play a couple games. You know, we're trying to get that figured out. You know, trying to see if we need to play a non-conference game when we come back from Christmas. You know, so we got a lot of things yet to straighten out just for next year. But I'll work with Wayne and figure out, you know, what we're going to do. I told him a lot of it will depend on, you know, what we have on the road, no non-conference, on where we need to start. They're going to have a little more flexibility. I think WCC, I think they only play like 16 conference games or something. I can't remember. But they're going to have a lot more flexibility with their schedule than we will.
Makes a difference, doesn't it? Well, a lot covered there by Coach Altman. And, yeah, with Nate Biddle feeling ill, and I'm telling you, you miss a week, like it sets you back. You miss 2, it sets you back, you know, and I feel for these guys that have had that rotation just so in flux. Here's hoping things settle down here moving forward. Ducks know what they have here coming up Saturday, 7 o'clock in Corvallis. And a big game, rivalry game. You know, it's the most contested rivalry in college basketball. Hope it continues. I'm glad that Coach Altman said, hey, we're working with Coach Tinkle to figure that out. Quick timeout. When we come back, talking lacrosse, a 1,000% has won every single game that she's coached. That's right. Talking with Jess Drummond after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer.
In response to attacks against Asian Americans, Maddie Park raised over $250,000 to donate cab rides to the Asian community.
There is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Support the Asian community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We are back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union in the Country Financial Studio. Yesterday afternoon, we sat down with Jess Drummond. Look, 1-0 as an Oregon head coach, coaching her alma mater. So cool, an awesome moment for her. And now the Oregon lacrosse team in action again on Friday and again at Pape Field against St. Francis. 5 o'clock, the start time scheduled at Pape Field. My plan? Start at Pape Field after listening to Oregon baseball all afternoon. Then make my way over at 7 o'clock or whenever lacrosse comes to a close. Make my way over to Oregon women's basketball against USC. It's going to be a good Friday. We also have Oregon tennis in action in Boise tomorrow, some softball in the morning to keep track of. Friday is a good day for the Ducks. And we talked with Jess Drummond. Last Friday was a good day to be a Duck on the Oregon lacrosse team. Our conversation with the head coach, who's 1-0. Time to talk lacrosse. Jess Drummond is 1-0 as the head coach at Oregon. All right, I have to start there. That's history in both the Oregon record book and in the Jess Drummond scrapbook. How did that feel, getting 1-0, getting that first victory on Friday?
It was really special, and I just remember looking into the stands and being like, holy cow, so many people are in those stands.
Yeah.
That was the most I've ever seen in Pape Field.
That's cool.
It was really cool. Post-game, all of the fans, the parents, everyone was rushing in the field to see the players. So it felt like a very team win, and I'm very grateful for that.
Did you have more nerves than you thought you would? Were you anxious? We talked about this last week. Like, what were you feeling when everything started?
Pretty calm, cool. Like, I honestly was.
Of course. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Calm, cool, collect. Yes.
No, I thought I was gonna have more nerves than I did. I think when we met, I was like kind of excited of just like be game time.
Right.
And then as soon as that, the whistle goes, it's like, all right, we're in it. We're locked in. We kind of had like a technical call against us right after those first 3 goals. And I was like, we're fine. We're fine. And my mom called me. She was like, Jess, it was so awesome. You're so calm, cool, collected. I was so proud of you. And I was like, thanks, Mom. I felt that way.
Mom.
I know.
Thank you. You still need the validation from your parents, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, and she's really into lacrosse. She's an official as well, so she's been around coaches when they can get kind of feisty or
right. But can we ask Mom? Like sometimes the coaches are right?
Sometimes a little bit. Yes. Yeah.
An official is a tough job.
So tough.
Yeah, I wouldn't
want
to
do lacrosse.
it.
No, there's a lot of gray area. I thought we had great officials that game, so I was very grateful.
So what were your takeaways of, you in general, right? What'd you take away from game one? I know a lot of coaches say that the improvement from game one to game two is often your biggest during the season.
Yeah.
What have you seen?
I hope so. That'd be great. I think that we came out really strong. Our key points were to set the tone from the beginning, push the fast break, and be disciplined. And I think we can kind of clean up the discipline and effort area. I think we did. It was definitely a team win. We went really hard, but I think we can kind of clean up those green cards. We had 7 green cards, which is a little bit too many for a game.
But is that some of that just first game?
Yes. Yeah. I believe so, and with the new rules being the green cards in transition, so I think we're feeling those out, and it was just a great learning game as well of taking those points away.
Can you walk us through that a little bit? I mean, you win 19-8, right? Mm-hmm. And so the amateur, me, is looking at that going, hey, that's a nice victory. But takeaways, positives, negatives, and then I wanted you to, if you could, walk us through the adjustment that even the coaching staff, the student athletes are going through, because there are new rules this year.
Yeah, so fouls between the 30, any physical fouls on my green card, which makes you a woman down. So we had 7 cards. We only had 2 goals that they ended up scoring off a woman down, but 2 of those were after a timeout. So those are things that I really want us to lock it in. Post a timeout, to me, I'm like, we've got to lock it in even more. Those coaches probably put up wrote up a play for them to throw in, so we've got to be a little bit more heightened awareness. So going through that, we were woman down for those first 2 minutes. I think they scored a goal in there, or maybe not. So that was a good start for us of just getting more practice in woman down and being able to get those stops.
It's akin to a power play in hockey for those of you that are thinking about it. And I the reason I bring that up, a penalty kill is always so important in hockey. I imagine similar, kind of what you're alluding to here.
Yeah. We also scored a goal when we were woman down, so that was really cool to be able to get that and transition, push that fast break, and get a goal. I was like, yes, game plan.
Shorthanded. So I got to ask you about a senior, okay? So I thought that it was fitting that early on, a name that we've all come to know in Oregon lacrosse over the last few years, rewriting the record book herself, Morgan McCarthy's scoring. I just felt like that was kind of a, that's like the lacrosse universe saying, yeah, that just makes sense to me today. I don't know. What'd you think of one of your senior leaders?
Yeah, I was so pumped for her. She actually had been going through kind of a quad injury during the beginning of that week. So for her to only have a couple practices and come out there and be like, this is game day, turn it on, I was so proud. And I knew you just trust Morgan on the field. She's consistent. She's just got this presence. And, if the team needs a goal, she's one of the few that she's like, I'm going to get this done. And she gets it done.
A couple fans have asked me, you're going to have substitutions, right? Things are going to happen, but I feel like there's always a focus on any sport that involves a net. If there is a keeper, a goalie in the net, somebody protecting the net, that's a big deal. You made a substitution during.
We did.
Fans have asked, take fans through that if you could.
Yeah, so each week I always reiterate that everyone has an opportunity to earn a spot, playing time starting. You never know when your jersey's going to be called, so I always want everyone to be ready. And we always lead up of who's going to earn those starting spots. I think it's a big deal to earn a starting spot, to get those minutes. And you've got to take advantage of your opportunity when you're in the field. And, we needed to change. They had 5 goals on 5 shots, and we just needed to get a little switch up. And we're going to do that, whether it's 3 goals and we swap some things up, or 4 goals. So we got a switch, and, Thayer came in and was just that kind of switch that we needed. A little pump up. The team kind of rallied. We've got a couple saves in there, and that just builds the momentum. And that's what you're just trying to find adjustments as a coach of where you can see that and do it.
And how much does that foster competition during the week? Here we are, week 2, right, of in-season practice. I imagine it does do that.
Yeah, and that's my hope. I don't want a big drop-off from who's playing, who's not playing. I want everyone to be earning their spots and know that they have an opportunity whenever they come up to practice to get out there on that field.
And shoot, you're going to
what are you going to say?
You're going to have some injuries potentially.
Yeah.
You never know, right? So that is why you want to have a deep bench, I suppose.
Yeah.
So to that point, too, I'm always curious to talk with coaches about, the way that your mind works, which is crazy. Believe me, in a way of, you've now gone through one game. How much does one game influence the way you plan practice for the week? Do you adapt on Saturday morning? Does the practice plan change? I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah. So we played Friday. Saturday's our off day. Sunday we're back in it, just kind of getting our bodies moving again. And Monday it's like right to the game plan. So Sunday we did a meeting, and after every game I'm like, these are our takeaways. These are things that we did well. These are things that we need to improve on. And that's just kind of our focus going into the next week. Like I say, like every day we have to be pushing ourselves to be better than the day before. We can't just be complacent in where we're at. And so this week we kind of had our scout for St. Francis. We know that they love to feed inside. They've got some couple players that just drive. So, we're going into this week. How can we limit those opportunities come Friday? So we're putting in drills that kind of implement that. And we start our scout for defense on Monday to start just getting our brains turning on how we need to be playing on Friday.
See, this is why I say, like, crazy smart. I was going to ask about St. Francis, and the synapse is all fired right in that direction. It's like you've done this before.
Oh,
see?
You just gave me a layup.
I don't think I did. That was what we call in the broadcast business, that was a championship-level pivot.
Okay.
By you.
Should I just take over your job?
Yes.
Should we swap?
Yeah. But I'm telling you right now, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe the student athletes would just do it all, but no.
No.
The right person's in the right chair in this setting. So I was going to ask you about keys to success and also what you want to see in the second. Where do you want to see that improvement? What do you want to see at Pape Field 5 o'clock Friday?
Yeah, I'd love us to clean up our cards. So I really need us to be a little bit more disciplined. I think we can continue to work the ball on offense after we've kind of gone the ball out. But there was a lot of transitions back and forth, and I think we can grow our lax IQ of know when it's a good time to push a fast break and slow it down. And so those are things I'd love to see. And, I think we had 8 assists out of our 19 goals. Let's see some more assists in there, getting the ball moved around more, and defense being able to have, we call it a second slide. So we've got our great first slide down, have a good double team, and then seeing our backside help out inside the 8 more. Is that like a different language to you, or do you?
I mean,
I'm like,
let's see.
Is it a different? I need to bring it. Next time I'm bringing out a whiteboard. I'm going to draw it all out for you.
We've talked about doing the old school telestrator before.
Ooh.
Like I think we're going to get there.
Yeah.
We're going to get there on the show. But yeah, the whiteboard, I'm in.
Yeah.
Look,
okay, I'll bring it next time.
We're here for you. Was it another language? I mean, I have often said that English is the most complicated language out there.
Yeah.
The amount of nerdery here, the amount of irregular verbs in the English language, ridiculous. It's so difficult to learn as a second language. So, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
To answer your question. But I like that we can sit here, though, and talk a little bit about the strategy, because I think that as lacrosse continues to grow, my opinion here, as lacrosse continues to grow on the West Coast, we need that.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Thanks for being here.
Obviously.
Here's to 2-0.
Here we go.
2-0. Jess Drummond, Oregon lacrosse head coach. 5 o'clock, Pape Field. We'll see you there. Crowd can make a huge difference, I'd imagine.
Huge. Be there.
I think that 1,000 career winning percentage sounds great. That's awesome. Talking with Jess Drummond. Quick timeout when we come back. Switching gears to women's basketball. Full weekend preview continues on Duck Insider. More coming on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, son. How are you feeling?
I'm fine, Pops.
What's on your mind?
I can't explain it. Navigating without a compass, eyes waiting, started to wonder. Metamorphosis, loss of who you thought you was.
When your kid can't find the language, help them find the lyrics. Listen to the Sound It Out album and get tips and tools to start a conversation at sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by Ad Council and Pivotal Ventures.
A
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Women's basketball at home against the Los Angeles Schools. Couple top 10 opponents for the Ducks. And USC is the Stomp Out Cancer game, the pink game, coming your way at 7 o'clock on Friday. Now we hear from Coach Graves on to the women's side of the basketball court, reviewing the week that's been. The Ducks on the women's side, too, a little shorthanded. Kelly Graves talking with the media here this week.
You know, our kids keep battling and fighting, and the attitudes have been good. Practice was really good today. Chris, you were out there. Practice looked good today. So, you know, I think our kids are still upbeat. I know we are as coaches, just trying to find a way to get a win. But this will be the 6th and 7th straight top 20 opponents. And, you know, in a season where it's been a struggle for us at times, it's not any easier. But we're going to do our best this week.
You knew how good Juju Watkins was going into that first game. Seeing her in person, what was it like?
Oh, she's an excellent player, no question about it. I thought we did a really good job on her. You know, I think she had 17 points on 18 or 19 attempts. So I think we did our job. We didn't do anything really different. We just made sure that everybody knew that when she was in areas, and just focus on that a little bit. We actually played quite well down there. And had a chance to win that game, and then just didn't. And actually, Juju made a couple of plays down the stretch. You know, we'd held her in check for the most part, but then she made a couple of game-winning plays.
How could maybe not having Sophia this week impact some of that, though? Just her ability to match up on someone like that.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think Sophia is a difficult matchup for anybody. You know, she can match Juju's length. She actually played against her in high school. I watched that game in Portland last year. Yeah, it hurts not having her, you know, with us, and you know, so it just means everybody else will have to be on point. But you know, she's going to get her points if she wants. I think she showed that at Stanford. You know, if she's on a roll and gets heated up, there's not a whole lot you can do, quite frankly. She's great in transition, shoots with range, and plays with supreme confidence. You know, we just want to make her be as least efficient as possible. You know, if she gets 28 on us, okay, but let's make her shoot 30 times. So, but it's a fun challenge. I know our players are excited for.
Without Sophia, you kind of fiddled with the two guard in the starting lineup. You feel like Ula is sort of holds on to that, or is that kind of still up for debate going throughout the weeks, or where?
Yeah. Well, we started Ula in the last game, not necessarily because she hit 4 threes against Colorado, but she does defensively what we ask her to do. You know, she doesn't do more than she's capable, and she can make the three. You know, we give up a little bit of length. If we went with Priscilla, you're talking somebody 6'2" as opposed to 5'8", 5'9", but you know, her ability to shoot the three gives Philly and Grace and those kids inside a little bit more room to operate. So, yeah, she's earned it. You know, she's earned it, and you know, we'll keep her in there at least for you know, foreseeable future.
Defense has been a huge strength of this team through conference play, but last weekend was a little tough in that regard. Do you sort of attribute that to the loss of Sophia, or just things kind of getting away from you?
All of the above, yeah. Not having Sophia, I think, does hurt because she is our best defender. She can defend a bunch of different positions, and sometimes she defends all the positions in the same possession. She's just that kind of hard worker. So, yeah, that's part of it. The other part is, I think, you know, second time you see teams, now they know what we can do. You know, we've kind of stuck with that zone. For us to be able to play big, we have to stay in the zone. We can't have Philly and Kennedy out chasing people on the perimeter. It's just not going to work. And then it also keeps them in the rebounding position. But I think there was a variety of things against Colorado. Utah, we had some spurts where we didn't play well. But I think overall we played okay. Colorado, we just kind of died. I think the altitude was part of it. A really good team was part of it. And then when they got on a roll, that basket looks bigger and bigger and bigger. So it was just a variety of things.
What's kind of the message to get back to, what the defense looked like before last weekend?
Yeah, just, we just got to keep grinding. That's the main thing. Against Utah, we come back, cut it to 4. Was that 4th or 3rd? I don't. Mid-third. And, and then when they go on that other run, you can see the body language change. Like, oh, here we go again. And we've just got to get them out of that, We just don't have much of a margin for error. We don't. And so we've got to all kind of be playing well, for really close to 40 minutes if we expect to beat some of these teams. And, so all we can do is just stay positive and keep working. And I think our players, for the most part, still believe, that we can win. And, we've got 4 of our final 6 at home. I believe that there's not one game out of the 6 that we can't win, right? Now, are we going to put ourselves in a position to do so? Well, it remains to be seen. But I think we believe as coaches, and I think our players believe. Now we just got to go do it, for crying out loud.
Has there been an update on Sophia? From last week you said it looked like maybe she might miss it. Is the same?
Yeah, I think Sophia's done for the year. I truly do. But I don't know. She's rehabbing. She's not with the team during practice because she's in doing her own workouts in the pool and things like that. But, she's still in that boot. And as long as they're in a boot, that means they're not putting weight on their foot. And so that's, we're looking at best 2 weeks. Well, we only have 3 weeks left in the regular season. So that's just my guess. So plan for the worst, hope for the best.
How's she kind of handled that? Obviously, young player, those injuries can kind of really, do a number on that.
Yeah, she seems upbeat. She still contributes. She's still a good team member in terms of, talking to the other players. And, it's just unfortunate, these injuries, you just feel so bad for them. Obviously it hurts the team, but that's the least important part. You feel for the young people when they get hurt. But it also makes you appreciate every moment that you do have, You have to be glad that you're out there and enjoy the time that you are in the court because you never know when it's going to be taken away.
Where does it rank for personal points of pride for you seeing you're going to have multiple former players in Paris this summer?
Yeah, I'm happy you mentioned that. Yeah, to see the Sabalis help Germany get to their first ever Germany Olympic Games. It was amazing. We all watched the game when we were down in Salt Lake. That was a more important game than the Super Bowl to everybody except for Chris. But yeah, that was neat. Obviously, Maite, they're mainstays in the Olympics, but to see her be such an important part of their team, and then Serena, my guess is she's going to make the team, but helped us qualify for it anyway. That's really neat. And then, even, Angela Dugalich only played 1 year here, but I'm really proud of her. We've stayed in touch, and she has no ill will, even neither do we. And so she also qualified for Serbia. It's pretty neat. And then on a personal note, Sunny Greinacher, a young lady that I coached at Gonzaga, who has Eugene ties. She was here as a freshman or a sophomore in high school and helped Willamette win a state championship. They went undefeated. She was state player of the year several years ago, and now she's also on that German team. So it's pretty neat personally to see that. I wasn't planning on going to Paris, but I think I might have to now. I mean, why wouldn't you? To see all these former Ducks. Pretty cool.
It's a work trip.
It's a work trip. Now help me find a place to stay. My guess is there's no hotel rooms, and the Airbnbs might be a little limited too. So, but it might be worth it. Thanks for bringing that up. That's pretty special.
It's a work trip. It's a work trip. Coach Graves meeting with the media. When we come back, a little Oregon baseball season preview as the Ducks are on the road in Texas tomorrow. Going to hear from a few of the newcomers on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear winter, Toyota can't get enough of you, because Toyota's got 22 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/23.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Back in the Country Financial Studio, Duck Insider is presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Oregon baseball in action in Texas. The Ducks on the air tomorrow at 12:45 with Ryan Milano. I'll be tuned in. And then the Ducks will throw that first pitch scheduled for just after 1 o'clock against Oklahoma. A few newcomers met with the media this week. Going to hear a bit from Jeffrey Hurd, transferred in from Sacramento State. You look at his bio, he had some big-time performances against some Pac-12 teams before coming to play for a Pac-12 team. Jeffrey Hurd with the media this week.
How's the new environment been here?
It's great. Teammates were very welcoming when I first got in, and we had a bunch of new guys too. So, I mean, you go around the locker room, I think everyone will have the same census. But Eugene's great. Obviously, facilities, you can't beat the stuff that we got out here. So, really liking the new environment so far.
As transfers, you kind of band together to kind of learn the ropes, or is it kind of like figuring it out?
I feel like there really wasn't that much separation when I got here. Honestly, I feel like we were kind of a team almost like off rip, and like everyone kind of was getting to know each other still, but there wasn't like separation between transfers and new guys and freshmen and all that. Like I think we came together real well.
How would you say the team's confidence is kind of heading into your first competition this
weekend? I would say it's pretty good. I think we know we got a good squad. Still some things we got to work on, and that's going to be the same throughout the whole season. Like we're going to continually get better as the year goes out, but I think going into it, we should be pretty good.
Tour up the summer with the Bethesda squad before getting up to the Cape. What was your summer experience like? And then how did that, I think it was 3 days up on the Cape. How did that all come together for you?
I loved summer ball. It was a lot of fun. It was cool just because it's a different kind of baseball. You're still going out there. You're trying to win every day, but it's a lot more loose. You just kind of get to play. And I was in a really great environment. Bethesda, I loved Maryland out there. And then the Cape, I was only there for about a week, but I had a great time out there too. So I just kind of learning things throughout the summer and bringing them into the season is really what I was kind of focused on. But
what was it about Oregon after that big summer that made you feel like this is the right spot?
Well, Marty did a really good job recruiting. There was a lot of good options, but seeing what they had last year, the loss in the Super, obviously, like coming in, I knew I was going to be around a group of guys that were hungry to get after it and go even further than that. So that's kind of really what did it for me.
I got the pleasure of watching you for a lot of last season at Sac State. Obviously, I know your game, but for people who haven't seen it yet, what do you really bring to this team?
I think I'm just a guy who goes out there and loves the game. I really don't try to focus too much or on like one specific thing. I just kind of play loose and have fun, and hopefully that's what people can see when they watch me play.
What's been the plan with you and Marty? Just like how's that relationship been, and just what have you guys been working on the most?
It's been great. I was telling someone back there, Marty's like unbelievable. I think he's probably one of, if not the best hitting coaches in the country. He kind of like, you kind of don't really have to think too much. You kind of just let Martyr work, and if you listen to him and trust him, things will kind of go right and fall in place for you. So I think he's a really good hitting coach for sure.
What specifically are you guys working on?
A lot more opposite field approach for me specifically, but I mean, everybody's got their own thing. For me, it's kind of just working on that so we can bring the average up a little bit, and then also kind of hopefully keep the pull side pop going as well this season. But that's really the big thing for me so far.
What's it like hitting a PK park?
Ball flies. It's a lot of fun for sure.
What are your kind of expectations for yourself? And you can take this full season or just this upcoming weekend. Just what are you looking for to get out of you?
I mean, like I previously said, I'm just looking to come in, hopefully have a big impact, but more importantly, just do what I can to help the team win. Like I kind of told him earlier, the big focus this year is just making it further than we did last year, so that's really what's on my mind right now.
Is there a pitcher during scrimmages that's been a fun matchup, but also like kind of a really tough one so far?
We've had a lot. We got some good arms this year for sure. I think me and probably Toby Twist, he's a freshman. I don't know if you guys got to know him yet. He's going to be really good this year. Kind of lefty-lefty matchup, so I have a little fun with him, but that's probably the one for me.
You mentioned last year coming in as a transfer and already that being an appealing that you're going to play on a hungry team. How much of a rallying point has that been, just this team being unsatisfied with last year?
I mean, I think it's the big thing is that we focus on the process and not too much on like the result, but at the end of the day, you still know that what you're striving for is to, like you said, go farther than we did last year. So that's on everyone's mind every day, and you can see it like even on off days, everybody's in there getting after it, and like no one's ever satisfied with what they have done, and everyone's just trying to get better every day.
A Sacramento State transfer in Jeffrey Hurd figures to be a big part of the outfield for the Ducks. He hit .292 with 12 home runs last year, 16 in his career. He could be a real weapon for Oregon in the middle of the order. Coming up, going to hear from a couple other guys. We talked with Justin Casella. Also sat down with one of the starting pitchers for the Ducks. Quick timeout, wrapping up with a little more baseball preview after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. The Duck baseball team on the road. No show tomorrow because we've got a 1 o'clock first pitch. Ryan Milano with a 12:45 pregame show. Duck's still sorting out what the rotation's going to look like. Unfortunate with Isaac Aon getting banged up heading into the season. But one new transfer in a Quinnipiac product in Kevin Sider. And he's 8-4 last year with a 3.58 earned run average, a first-team All-MAC in 2023. He met with the media, might be part of that pitching staff for the Ducks here moving forward.
Back to Oregon, why about it?
I just think this is an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
I really believe in the coaching staff and the program here. I mean, it's really not hard to follow. You see the success that they've had in the postseason for years here, and not only that, but Coach Martyr and Coach Waz did a phenomenal job, expressing the culture here. And that was one of the biggest things for me when I was looking for a new place, was to step into a place that's used to winning and that's player-led, and that's exactly what we have here.
Did you commit to Oregon when Angier was still the pitching coach? Or
No. I was like late August or early July, whatever.
So you've been full-time with Hawk?
Yep.
What's that relationship been like between you guys?
It's been great. He's awesome. He's a great guy to bounce ideas off of. Baseball aside, he wants you to be the best man possible. And that's, I find that extremely important, because there's always time outside of baseball. As we grow up and we develop and we become fathers, you got to be a good man. And that's something that he really focuses on. And I have really, really strong appreciation for that.
What are some of the things that you guys have kind of hit the ground running and tried to work on this offseason and leading up to the year, this week?
Yeah, there's always baseball stuff. How fast I'm spinning my fastball or the shape of my curveball and whatnot. But a lot of it, honestly, is the mental side of the game. And you can't compete at the highest level unless you're locked in mentally. And that's something that Hawk has taken an extremely good approach on, I would say, unlike things I've been exposed to in the past, if you will. So it's super refreshing, and I think it's going to really benefit myself and the entire pitching staff.
For folks who haven't seen you throw before, just kind of stuff-wise, what do you bring to the game? What do you think your strengths are?
Like my arsenal, or like what I have pitches? So I throw 2 fastballs, 2 breaking balls, and a changeup. But ultimately, man, I just want to go out there and compete and throw strikes. I take a lot of pride in just being able to keep the team in the game. Whether it's, I could give a couple runs in the first inning, but I trust my guys behind me, and I trust the bats to, keep us in the game. And ultimately, I'll just try to keep throwing zeros.
That's Kevin Sider, one of the guys who figures to be a big impact player for Oregon baseball here moving forward. We didn't get to Justin Casella, who at 343 for Elon a year ago figures to be part of Oregon's offense. Ducks have brought in some new outfielders to fill in for what was, a very talented outfield last year. A lot of draft picks in that outfield a year ago. Hoping for a few more draft picks in the outfield this year. So some new faces. You'll get to know them as part of that 12:45 pregame show tomorrow at 1 o'clock first pitch for Duck baseball against Oklahoma, starting the season in Arlington, playing in that tournament out in Texas. They've also got a 9 a.m. first pitch Saturday, 12:30 first pitch on Sunday. Tennis, softball, men's and women's basketball, lacrosse, all in action this weekend. Hope to see you at Matthew Knight Arena, Pape Field, and beyond. You tune in for baseball tomorrow. Go Ducks.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.